Oh, what's going on here, Sky? Don't come in here with
What?
your technical problems and ruin
I
everything
have.
that we've ever created.
What technical
Do you know
problems
what
have
I
I
mean?
got? Ah.
No, she's having a mare. Come on, we can hear you. It's all right.
What's happening? I don't understand what technical problems.
I can also hear you banging your phone about and heavy breathing. What a start this is. What a start. Hey, I was running past your apartment just then. I was like, fucking hell. I'm not going to lie, I was about 7K in and I was on Struggle Street, like really bad. And I thought, fucking hell, I can just imagine you and Rick coming out now, starting out like both train
Dad
hard.
run.
Yeah, mate. And I was dragging my right leg around that path. I was like, shit, these two are going to come out here. I'm going to like, all right, pal.
Fair play. Good effort. It is
So
about 7K from.
then I'm back, yeah. Yeah, I did that. I did a timed run, but fucking hell, man, I struggled just today. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't doing Sean's splits of his high rocks, which was, what did he say it was?
4:30.
4:30 splits. Decent, that. It's very good. Very, very good. What are you going to aim for, Nick?
6 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Whereas you'll get out the shit on the other stuff, though, won't you? You'll be all right with the other stuff, won't you? Yeah, yeah. Have you done a high rocks, Sky?
I'm doing one next month.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm the only one who's not done one. I'll do one, aren't you?
I know my running thing's got me doing like 440 splits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not continuously. It goes between, I'll do like 440 and then I'll do 550 or something.
Okay.
Obviously, it's trying to get me to go faster, but the running is the hardest bit. I did one full run through earlier this year, and I was the same as Nick. Like everything else, I was like, thank God there's skiing, thank God there's running, thank God there's wall balls. And then it felt like it was over in 10 seconds, and you're fucking running again. It was awful.
No. So you've done one before?
I just did like a run through of it. I haven't actually done.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't actually done an event, but yeah, we're doing one next month for charity. So.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I think if I'm going to do one, I'm going to have to do one abroad. But you can't get fucking tickets to one, can you? In England? No.
No, I think if you do it, that's why I didn't realise, but my mate signed us up. If you do it through the charity, you get like.
Okay.
Which one are you doing?
The Birmingham one.
That's what I'm doing.
Is it? See you there.
What day?
Sunday, I think, because it's doubles.
Friday
How
night.
many people do you think has just stopped listening because we just started to talk about high?
I know.
You know what?
I'd switch off. Personally, I'd be like, high rocks.
Right. Question 1. What are the most important things to have on a landing page? Go.
That's your answer, Nick.
You are the copy kid.
Go.
Copy kid, go on.
Go.
Go on. You go first because you've done a really good session on this at one of the sessions, that one of the conferences that we did in Birmingham. You did a good copy session, so you go first and I'll fill in the gaps for all the shit that you missed. Go on.
I'm going to go basic stuff then. You can fill in the gaps.
Because you're a basic bitch. Because you're a basic bitch, mate.
A headline, a sub-headline that tells people exactly what they're getting. Needs proof of concept, needs somewhere clear call to action. Depending on what the landing page is for, it probably needs multiple calls to action. Needs to be, if it's for cold leads, needs to be some context around you, who you are, some authority in there. Needs to have pictures of, probably from a coaching sense, your ideal clients, so there can be some relatability. Format needs to be bullet pointed, needs to be short and sharp, intersections. And then the information, as I said, you'd need to kind of have in there who it's for, what they're going to get, the outcome, why it's different from other shit they've tried before in the past, why should they do it now, how it works. You need to create FOMO in there, why they should sign up now, why should they trust you. I think you've got to answer that question in the copy. Some elements of pain points or relatability.
Yeah.
There you go. Fill in the gaps then.
No, there is no gaps, and I fucking fell asleep
Yeah.
and I fill in the gaps. Sky, next question. If you had to compete in a sport at a high level, what would you choose?
I do enough sport as it is. I'm just not high level. What would I do? Do you know what I do think is fucking cool? And I'm shit at it. Like judo.
Yeah.
I think you're added. Yeah, I've got a couple of mates that have done judo, like they're black belts. One of them's been Olympics, one of them's been like Commonwealth Games. And they're just fucking hard as nails. Imagine just being able to launch someone over you.
Wasn't that Ronda Rousey's sport before she got into MMA?
I think so, yeah.
Well, she was the Olympian, judo Olympian.
Yeah.
That's why she was so sick at throwing people and getting them into arm bars.
Takedowns.
Yeah,
that's a massive judo thing.
Yeah, and so
I know a few girls that have gone from judo to MMA.
Yeah, bye, Holly home. Remember that?
Yeah.
All good doing judo, but if you're going to get booted in the face, you're fucked, aren't you? Let's be honest. What I'm saying, Nick. Next, Nick, do you want to answer? High level sport?
Yeah.
Question, because you got an opportunity to moan. Your biggest pet peeves that you've seen PTs carry out on a regular on the gym floor whilst PTing?
Why people line these up?
Okay, so my first one is I'm going to give an obvious one, right? Of being on the phone whilst they're in a session. Now, I have conflicts with this sometimes because I think, well, you might be updating programming on your phone, but I just think, listen, I am fucking, you can't blag a blagger, and I can see when most of you cunts are on your phones and, not paying attention to clients. Another one is your body language with clients, like not invested, folding your arms, leaning against kit. I just think it looks shit, and that perception is poor. I also think the open nature of a PT's body language, so normally it's quite closed off. And I think if you look at the majority of people who go into a gym and the internal battles that they have about being in there, you need to be really open and approachable, and I think a lot of PTs aren't. So I think that is a big thing. Actually, there was a debate in the WhatsApp group that we have. It was in and around how people view members coming up to you whilst you're coaching the client. Did you see that question coming in the other day? I didn't get involved in it because I thought, you know what, I'm going to leave this alone. Because I can get that that's quite frustrating if you're in a session and all of that. But I just think that sometimes that most PTs forget that you are constantly on show. So people's perception of you, and especially their first impression of you, is so important. And I think you forget it because you're in the same place every single day doing similar things and all of that type of stuff. Yeah, and I think it's easy to forget that your first impression, people's opinion of you and perception of you is important, and it's important for you to know what you want to give off. And then the only other last thing that I would say is basic queuing. So like not being invested, more so counting reps and not actually observing, queuing, and asking the right questions whilst you're coaching people. I think it can be quite a lazy delivery sometimes. So yeah, they will be my top ones. Any I've missed there, Sky?
No, I was going to say the one that you said about the way that people interact with members that come and ask them a question and get pissed off at the members, forgetting that could be another potential client. That is somebody that is in their gym, which they should take pride in being a part of. You're not just representing yourself when you're part of a gym, even if you think the manager's a knobhead, doesn't matter. That person's still going to go out and talk about you and that gym, and you want that to be a positive thing. So as frustrating as it might be, I think your client would understand if you said, right, you're going to finish your set, give me 2 minutes, I'm just going to walk this person to the office to make sure that they get sorted out. No client is going to be like, you fucking knobhead, what do you mean finish this set and you're going to be back in a minute? Do you know what I mean? I think a little bit of consideration. Obviously, there's a limit to that. You're not going to do that with every single person that comes up to you, and it is frustrating, but there's just no need to be like, I'm in a session, find someone that's on the gym floor. People don't know the difference.
Do you know what? You're just saying that. Although people wouldn't guess this about me, because Nick likes to put stuff on here about me being grumpy and stuff like that, do you know what? I'm going to go to HR about soon. But honestly, if I think back about how I got clients, genuinely, I got clients by probably just being nice, open, approachable, genuine to people on the gym floor.
Same.
Maybe not nice. No, but it was. It was just good levels of customer service. Like if someone said to me back in the day when you didn't have a marketing plan or a strategy or a fucking lead gen plan or anything like that, which I didn't for the first 5 or 6 years because I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Same.
How did you get clients? By going out my way for people, good customer service and being nice. Honestly. Fuck off. It was. It is, isn't it?
When you first came into Pure Gym, and that was one of the questions, was like, how have you got clients so far? Like, what's been your marketing? I was like, just talking to people whilst I'm cleaning machines, just being nice, saying hello. Not a marketing strategy that I would say is the only thing that you should do, but it can be part of it.
I remember there was other PTs in the gym. I remember when I first went into, gym was it? I think it was the Pure Gym in Urban Exchange, and there was a guy in there called Ross who was absolutely cleaning up, but no disrespect to him, he was gash as a PT in terms of technical knowledge, in terms of, you could just tell he turned up, winged his session and done that 7 or 8 times a day. There's no real plan to it, but he constantly went out of his way to make people feel good, like asking how their day was, giving a shit and being interested. And all the other PTs who were used to get frustrated about how shit he was a PT and how busy he was and how he used to churn through clients and all of that, used to get all of that, let all of that get to them and get that angry and upset and frustrated about it and go, how the fuck is he doing this? How is he doing this? Instead of just looking at it and going, right, your strength is your people skills. Like, how can I learn from him? Do you know what I mean? How can I learn from that? And that might be difficult for some people, but genuinely, like, it's so rare these days. Good customer service, as sad as it sounds, is so rare that it sticks out in people's minds, even in a gym environment. So, I can't stress how important it is. Do you have access to these questions yet, Sky?
I've got one. Yeah, I've got one, actually.
Okay.
How do you keep clients motivated when they're on a cheaper program because they're not paying for more contact time, but I still want to get them good results?
You go, Nick.
Again, how do you keep clients?
Do you know what's just happened then? Is you changed the system and Nick didn't deal with that very well in that moment. So
Listen, I'm here now, bitches. Get used to it, okay? I'm going to bulldoze my way in. How do you keep clients motivated when they're on a cheaper program because they're not technically paying for more contact time, but I do still want to get good results?
Good question. The first thing I'd actually go back to is how are you presenting the actual program on the front end and manage expectations before they come in. That is probably the biggest single thing I think you should be addressing, and also I think the acceptance as well in regards to what you feel and what you get and the feedback you get and the touch points you get from your one-to-one clients versus a group is going to be different. And no matter how good intentions you've got, that's always not going to be directly comparable to one-to-one. And that's a very difficult place to go through, transition to go through. But there are also things that you can kind of do in regards to a group program, in regards to the way you can feedback, the way people keep engaged, challenges, etc., focus points, not too much, very simple ones. It can create autonomy, I think, in a group setting as well, but it's very much going to come back to, I think, the expectations you set.
Yeah, I think with this one, I'm not necessarily sure it's a group program. It is just like a cheaper program for a person on their own. So for me, I think is that person right for that program then? Because it's all well and good that you have the cheaper option, but if you're selling someone a cheaper option with less contact time when they actually need more, then there's going to be a disconnect. So I think if you're constantly not seeing people get as good results as you want from your cheaper program, then maybe the program shouldn't really exist, or you're not putting the right people on the program. That maybe is an after product. Someone comes to you for the full one-to-one shebang, and then when they're more confident and competent, then they go on the cheaper program as a kind of, ticking away, still doing it, but don't need as much. That would be my approach.
Old man?
No, I'm not going to elaborate on it because you've said the things that I would say.
Sound?
Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate. Next question. How do you deal with feeling like you're not doing enough for your clients, and how to change it if you're not doing enough? Sky?
If you don't feel like you're not doing, I think this is like a really good reflective question. That niggling feeling that you don't feel like you're doing enough probably means that you're not. Or you feel like there's something that you want to do, but you haven't quite put in place, or there's something that you used to do that you're not doing as much. That personally, when I get that feeling, it's usually a call to action for me to review. Am I doing everything for each person as I always have, or as I should? Has something dropped off? That's not always the case, but I do think so. The biggest thing for me is I will usually then go into some critical feedback from my clients, anonymous critical feedback. If I'm like, I don't quite know what it is, but I feel like I probably could be doing more, I would get that firstly so I can take the right action instead of being like, oh, I think it's this, and putting something in place that is not what they need. So I think that answers maybe both questions, is potentially getting the anonymous feedback, and then that will tell you what it is that you should be looking at, and then it's up to you to find how that realistically fits into your week in terms of time to give to it, way that you deliver it, what it is.
Yeah, I think to your point before, if you feel like you're not doing enough, you're probably not. I've said that before. Listen, I think what's hard is that you can always do better, you can always do more, but how much better and more is relevant and specific is subjective, isn't it? Because, like you say, you want to go off. Listen, I piss Nick off a lot with this. Like, well, more so in the past. I've got better at it now, but more so when I'd be like, yeah, but that's not good enough. We need to do more. We need to do more with that. We need to do all that. And I'd always second guess, like, yeah, but what are the outcomes? Yeah, no, it needs to be better. It needs to be this. So I'm a lot better now than I used to be. And I think that's quite healthy, that you've got that mindset. So I think, although it might not feel like it, I think it's quite a healthy, good mindset to have. Like, it's really hard when you're running a business because you're the one setting the standard. And I think sometimes that can work great because you can push yourself, but also you can let yourself off the hook a hell of a lot. So I think, to your point, it's making sure, and this is to anyone probably listening who's not in the academy, because everyone else in the academy will know we drill this all the time, is you get really critical feedback. You ask questions that literally they can't not answer, but with a negative. As hard as that is for some clients sometimes, but they literally focus on one area or specific improvement they can make of certain parts. So I think there's elements of that, right, of where you hunt out the critical feedback. And if there's not a lot, brilliant, like mega, because that means that you're doing a fucking great job and you should be proud of yourself for it. Because I think in business, we can sometimes constantly look for the critical and the negative because that's what we want to do is develop. But we do that much that we don't celebrate the stuff that we're really good at. And I think sometimes you've got to share that as well. I'm honestly the world's worst at that point. So I think you're right. You've got to go out and get critical feedback and get the facts, because there'll be many times where I'll turn around to Nick, for example, and this is 20 years doing this job, and I'll be like, no, that's not good enough, that shit. And we'll do the critical feedback and it's fucking unreal. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
that's great. It's reassuring.
Yeah.
But I would definitely, the first port of call is go out and get the critical feedback. Anything you'd add to that, Nick?
No, that would be my first thing. And I also think there's probably I don't know if you said this, I was reading the next question, but there's also an element of where that, not doubt, but probably comparison is coming from, and how that wins its way in a little bit.
Is it a knee-jerk reaction to losing a client, or is it a genuine feeling of, I feel like I could be doing more for my overall client base?
Because you should be feeling, like Anne said, you should be feeling that all the time to a certain extent, but is it to the point where it's causing you stress, and you're worried about it? I think that's when you probably need to look at those bits and pieces that we've gone through. But yeah. Apart from that, no. Right, I don't know whether the next question is serious or not.
Is that Dave's?
Yeah.
It's not a question. It's just he's asking us to change the date of the conference.
No, he has. Who's the question?
Go on then.
My wife clashes with our conference. They're a Glaswegian family, class people, but I can't understand what they say after a few drinks. Here's the question. How do I approach the subject of wanting to come to the conference instead? Don't laugh. That's what he said. This is serious shit.
Wait, sorry, my wife's close cousin. No, they're a cousin. They're not that close. That's not close enough for me.
Yes.
Nah, it's not close enough family for me. And it's your wife. It's not your cousin. Just a second.
There you go, Dave.
Next question is opinion.
Oh no, I don't feel like I asked that question properly. What strategies you use to help clients stay motivated over a long period of time?
The strategy is very much dependent on the client, right? So you would try to give you this as I'm not sitting on the fence and it depends style answer, but you would make sure that you specifically know what affects in a negative way and a positive way a client's level of motivation, right? So you'll do that building from understanding from day one, and then progressively you'll start to pick up on that if you review things like a weekly review, monthly review, that type of stuff. So if you've identified that, I don't know, multiple social occasions within a month really starts to affect someone's motivation to then want to get up and do their first session on a Monday, which then has a negative effect on the rest of the week, then we need to start to identifying how we can work through them things. And they might be special individual ways of doing that. But if I can give you some generic advice, it would be that in terms of really understand what positive and negatively affects a client's motivation, and also accept that sometimes they won't know what they won't know. They have to go through it first to understand it and see it as a learning process. I think the next point would be utilizing your check-ins as not a transactional tick box conversation, to make sure that there is certain questions in there that highlight that in terms of self-reflection and awareness. The next one is would start to look at how frequent that you do goal setting with a client and the root of the goal, highlighting certain things like milestones that they want to achieve, whether it's personalized, whether it's whatever it is. So individual milestones that they're working towards, whether they're process-based or outcome-based is what I meant by that last point. And then how often you measure them things. And there is certain things, I mentioned this on a call that we all had in a meeting this morning, is that we can neglect sometimes as coaches and leaders in how you celebrate success with your individual clients or collective clients. Like, I swear to God, we've still got that kind of 7-year-old, 8-year-old person, some of us, that want praise and want to be seen to be doing well and around others that want to be doing well. So I think it's really important sometimes that you do certain things like shout clients out for their progress or shout clients out for the small win that they've done. It matters and it means quite a lot to people. I used to get a hell of a lot of clients who were the never picked in PE type person, and they never felt like they fit into a gym and all of that. So then when they're shouted out, it's like they feel like they belong, and that's huge, man. So all of that type of stuff really helps if you kind of put that inside your business from there. Sky, anything you'd add?
Yeah, I think thinking of it in terms of like a long-standing client, and if their goal is one that's going to take a long time, there's no harm. I think for me, I've got clients that do work with me for quite a long time. Sometimes I find that trying to find a new, smaller focus within what they're doing that's still going to take them towards their end goal can feel like it's something new and novel, and that can reignite some motivation for them. So if they've been really heavily focusing on like their nutrition or movement outside of the gym, and then they kind of feel like they've stagnated a bit and their motivation's dipped, then maybe we change it to a focus within the gym when it's a specific performance thing that we're now working on. It's still taking them towards their end goal, not taking them away, but for them, it just brings them back to feeling like they're achieving something. All of what you've said, Ant, is great, but I do sometimes think that just trying to pick something new or novel can get them a bit more invigorated and excited again. It's the same as us within our business. We're doing the same thing all the time, but sometimes just picking something specific to work on as a bit of a priority or put a bit more time into can get our focus going again. So that would be something I use.
Nick, anything you'd add?
I'm not going to add another point. I'm only going to say that you've got to expect people to not to be motivated. That's clients we get, and it's a process. So there's never going to be one thing that is going to be you do tick a box and it's going to last. You've got to constantly
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. That's probably, well, it is a massive part of the job. And I think you've also got to manage your own expectations and not put your own biases and viewpoints on what you expect people to be like and turn up like, because they're not you. It's not ingrained into their lifestyle. They're not going to enjoy it, and sometimes, and that's okay. So I think it's also the kind of a viewpoint and expectation you put on what that looks like to you in your head, so that you're not disappointed by the client, and then that makes you then act or put things forward differently, or change things too quickly, or not enough, or whatnot, because it can lead to frustration as a coach. And that's not good. Apart from that, no.
Opinions on a debate we had in the gym yesterday. Favourite coffee chain?
Deer Hill.
What?
Oh, sorry, not coffee brand. Like chain is in cafe.
Yes. What did you say then?
Deer Hill.
Oh.
Deer Hill.
Deer Hill. Yes, that's all the coffee. And you should know this. This is our local coffee.
Oh,
It's on all anywhere you go around here, you'll get Deer Hill.
No, I didn't know that. No one told me about that. Why didn't you tell me about that, Anthony?
Because you live in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Anthony's not very cultured. Anthony's not cultured, so I wouldn't expect him to.
His face.
Don't come into terms with living around here, Nick. Do you know what I mean?
All right. Okay. So I get the question now. They're all shit, to be honest, but probably Costa.
Oh, that is very controversial. That's very controversial. I know what Nick's going to say.
I wouldn't say
Awful.
that, actually. I'd just say Starbucks. Starbucks or Costa, isn't it? Let's be honest. I would drive past Costa drive-through to go to go to a Starbucks.
I established a new coffee shop this weekend in the Trafford Centre.
Established.
I founded it.
Established 2024.
In fact, it was Lexi showing me what it was, and blatantly she just wanted a drink from there to take a picture for Instagram, but that was about it. The coffee was decent. It's called Blank Street, is it?
Oh, I've seen some people there, yeah.
I thought it was all right, Nick. And because I don't want to agree with you, I'm going to go with that one. Next question, please.
I've got one.
Oh.
I've already done one, so I've messed up the system, but I've gone ahead.
Sorry.
Thinking of adding in Q&A calls to the service. Any advice to make them fab and not tumbleweed?
She's got the system now, hasn't she? She's got it, Nick.
Got it.
Welcome.
My first reaction, do some prep work, set it up, give some context, ask your clients, look over the most common challenges and barriers from the check-ins, the questions you get asked. So very much client-based, to be honest. And also, I think, lean on other clients who have done well in those scenarios also. So it's not just you talking constantly. So, yeah, I think that's the first two things I'd come to, really, on that.
And the only thing that I would say is accept the tumbleweed for a long time. Honestly, accept it for a while and just carry on. I remember me and Nick being in a group with, how many pure gym PTs were in that group, Nick? About 3,500.
Yeah, still.
I mean, used to turn up and one used to listen live at points. Honestly. But then after a while, and especially in the build up to COVID, during COVID, after COVID, you sometimes had 50, 60, 70, 80 people join you live. And that was because for about 18 months prior to that, we did it every week.
Is that his Wi-Fi?
There we go.
What's going on? Right? Yeah, accept the tumbleweed. Just get on with it. Come on. Do it anyway.
Yeah. I actually, so obviously I've been doing some consultancy work with some coaches where I go into their business and deliver things for them. And I'm working with Syra. And Syra has, for her client Q&As, come to me with specific topics. And I feel like that's a really good way to do it. So she's gathered the most kind of talked about or asked about topics. So last week it was emotional eating. This week it's like cortisol, kind of menopause. For me, I feel like that really gets people to A, turn up, or B, watch back. Whereas when it's just open generic Q&A, I've done it with other coaches. It can sometimes work, and people do come with lots of questions, but sometimes people can just come and expect other people to ask, and they don't really have questions. I think if you can make it about a specific topic you get asked about a lot, then it can make it less tumbleweed. But you also do need to accept that there might be a level of tumbleweed.
Agree.
What effing software is the best? I'm liking the look of Everfit or Kahoonist at the moment.
Not Stridist.
Oh,
I know I'm going to get cancelled. I don't care. I'm sick of it.
Everfit and Trainerize are both probably the most popular. Kahunas gets used quite a bit, but I think if we were to stand on here now at this present moment, because we've done this before, probably twice, and gone, yeah, this software seems best, and then it's been shit 6 months later, and everyone's like, well, you told us to go to it. Well, we're not anymore. What we're saying now is, at this present moment, Everfit is probably the best all-round software, apart from the reporting of it from the payments perspective is dog shit. Everything else is fine. But as most PTs don't report anyway, you'll be reet. All right? You'll be reet. Is that final, Nick? I've got a question.
To be honest, I wasn't.
No. Do you know what? Nick's going to start putting these on YouTube, Sky. Because what we realised is, seeing as though you've joined us, we might get more views now than it was just me and him before. Do you know what I mean? So we started to put them on YouTube. I'm just letting you know. Next question.
Are you clickbaiting me?
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
Here we are. Fuck.
I'm the token face.
That's right, yeah. Is there like a special thing that you've got to put on, Nick, for when we swear so much? Isn't it? YouTube that afternoon, we watch the old one. Anyway, what would you say each of the strengths and weaknesses are? What would you say each other's strengths and weaknesses are? I think we should do it for each other, because I'm not comfortable saying what I'm strong on. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot, and we'll be here all day. Nick, I'm really intrigued. I think what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Confidence is
Strengths and weaknesses. Strengths are you're a people person. Strengths are you are driven, take action, honest. Strengths are, and we'll leave them there. Weaknesses are you put down the phone without ever saying it. You put down the phone without ever saying it. I'm getting feedback. Other weaknesses are you direct. That's a strength and a weakness. I think it is, isn't it? It's strength and a weakness for different people at different times. Same with action taking. Sometimes you take action without thinking, but that's a strength and a weakness. Another weakness are your hips and your knees. So basically, your lower body is your weakness.
In more ways than one. Yeah. Go on, Sky. What's Nick's strengths and weaknesses? You've worked with him long enough. That's enough. That's enough. It's enough for him. His weaknesses then. His long pauses are definitely a weakness.
For you then.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, weakness. I know what's a weakness. Go on, Sky. Go on. Yeah. I was just about to say that.
Next energy. Can we just clear this up? I don't live in Birmingham. Do you live in Manchester?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm proud.
No, did you though before? Anthony.
Did I?
No, serious question. Before you moved, did you live in Manchester?
Yeah.
Or did you live on the old house? So is your address a Manchester postcode?
Yeah.
See, mine's not, so I don't live in Birmingham.
No. Right, let's both do Sky's quickly. Come on. Sky's definitely a people person. I think Sky is very adaptable to the person and the environment in a good way. Very adaptable, honest, you clearly take action doing different stuff. Take action on loads of shit, don't you? So you do lots of stuff, not scared to take action. You get what you see, don't you? You kind of don't hide more punches in a good way. And you could probably see that in a bad way, but who gives a fuck? What else, Nick? Anything else?
I think confident. I think strength is your confidence. Definitely. Who you are, what you want, what you don't like, what you do like. I get that. I think a strength is like it's kind of contradicting. You do loads of things, but then I would class you as very much an expert in nutrition, obviously, and I'd very much say you're an expert there, but then but still like you do other things, and I think that. And when I say expert, I think your knowledge is insane on nutrition. So yeah, I think that's a big strength. Right, the weakness.
You are from Grimsby.
So,
Your strength actually is your dad's a strength. Yeah, he gives you a bit. Way to finish the podcast. That was another long sesh, but listen, I'm going on you.
well, it wasn't an hour and 6 minutes, was it?
We've
45 minutes, I think, is my cap, right? That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So we cracked the podcast game in the UK. We absolutely smashed that. So now we're going to take over YouTube and go global, innit, Nick?
Innit?
This is what we want. And you'll get one edit in sight from Nick. Not one bit of editing.
Unless AI does it.
Right, brilliant. Good one. Go on, fuck off.